Goldie glanced around her cramped studio apartment and felt defeated. At 28 years of age, she was stuck in a dead-end job and barely getting by paycheck to paycheck in Manhattan. If you're like Goldie and dream of retiring early and traveling the world, but with your current financial situation that seems impossible, then stick around, because we're going to show you exactly how Goldie retired in 7 years, starting with $0. A couple years ago, Goldie stumbled across a YouTube video that promised viewers could retire in just 7 years, even starting with nothing. Goldie watched with growing excitement as the vlogger revealed his tips. She decided right then and there to take control of her finances and work towards early retirement. She implemented each of these steps that we'll reveal shortly. And before we do, make sure to join Goldie on her journey toward retiring rich. Click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to join her on her quest to financial prosperity. And get ready to be inspired, educated, and learn how to retire in 7 years. The first piece and the main strategy is to save a very high percentage of your income. Ideally, over 70 to 75%. This allows you to build wealth quickly. We're going to walk through Goldie's journey to hyper-saving so she can retire early. When we first met Goldie, she was stuck living paycheck to paycheck. But after learning how to save aggressively, she's now on the fast track to financial freedom. Now Goldie is reaping the rewards of her diligent efforts. She's traveling full-time, pursuing her passions, and living life on her own terms. Goldie started by automating her savings. She set up direct deposit so 75% of her paycheck went straight into investment accounts. Out of sight, out of mind. By pretending that money didn't exist, Goldie avoided the temptation to spend it. Here's how Goldie built her saving habit. She started small, 10% of her income. Then she increased her savings rate 1% each month. And every bonus or tax refund, half went to rewards, half went to savings. In no time, Goldie was saving 3/4 of her income without it feeling like a sacrifice. The key for her was making saving automatic and consistent. By developing a habit over time, she painlessly saved way more than she thought possible. Now Goldie is earning interest on interest, thanks to the power of compound growth. Her net worth is skyrocketing. So take a page from Goldie's book, Make Saving a Habit Now, and you'll be on the road to financial freedom before you know it. Alright, now that Goldie is automatically saving tons of cash, let's talk about the second step toward retirement in the next 7 years, cutting expenses. Goldie thought there was no way she could trim her lifestyle. She was spending so much money on rent, car payments, daily lattes, you name it. But determined to retire early, Goldie tracked every dollar she spent for a month. This showed her exactly where all her money was going. Goldie was shocked to learn nearly half of her income went to just rent and transportation. So she made big changes. She downsized to a tiny apartment that cut her rent in half, then took the bus to slash transportation costs. She had to say goodbye to daily takeout and lattes. She canceled cable, gym memberships, box subscriptions. She started shopping at thrift stores and bought used clothing. And lastly, paused all non-essential spending. It wasn't easy at first, but the more Goldie practiced frugality, the more natural it became. Thanks to her stellar savings rate and lower overhead, Goldie's wealth grew exponentially. She tracked her progress in a net worth tracker and watched that number skyrocket. So take inspiration from Goldie. Cutting expenses gave her more money to invest, which accelerated her path to financial independence. Now we get to the fun part and the third piece of advice, how Goldie boosted her income. There's so much we can learn from her. Goldie was initially making an okay salary of $135,000 at her corporate job, but determined to retire early. She knew she needed to earn and save way more. So Goldie made a goal to increase her income by $20,000 that year. It seemed impossible on her salary alone, but Goldie got creative. First, she started asking around for ways to take on more responsibility at work. Her manager realized she was ready for a promotion and bumped up her title and pay. Next, Goldie took on side gigs in her spare time. She signed up for Rover to walk dogs on evenings and weekends. She also offered virtual assistant services on Upwork, doing admin tasks for businesses in the evenings. Between her promotion, dog walking, and VA work, Goldie easily added $15,000 to her income that year. But she wanted to earn even more, so she dug into her hobbies. Goldie loved baking delicious cakes and desserts for friends. She decided to try selling her baked goods at the local farmers market on Sundays. It was a hit. Goldie was soon making $100 to $200 each weekend, selling her tasty treats. Over the course of a year, her new side cake business brought in over $5,000. Goldie was thrilled to have added $20,000 in income through her promotion, side gigs, and cake business. And remember, she invested 75% of all that extra income. With her increased salary, her wealth and investment gains grew even faster. Within 2 years, Goldie had an extra $50K in the bank, thanks to her income-boosting efforts. So take inspiration from Goldie and look for creative ways to increase your income. Even an extra $10K a year can accelerate your path to financial independence when invested properly. Whether it's negotiating a raise, monetizing a hobby, freelancing, or starting a little side business, it all adds up. You too can emulate Goldie's success story. So there's a fourth piece to this journey. You must invest early and aggressively. Let compound interest work its magic. Utilize retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs. When Goldie set her goal to retire in 7 years, she knew she needed her money to work as hard as she did. Enter investing. Goldie read up on how to invest for beginners. She learned about the power of compound interest, how your money earns returns on returns over time. Goldie opened a retirement account and started contributing 15% of each paycheck. Though she couldn't access that money now, it would have decades to grow. Next, she opened a brokerage account to invest her other savings more aggressively. Goldie put 80% in stock ETFs for growth and 20% in bonds for stability. She was careful not to panic during any market dips. By regularly investing in good economic times and bad, her average returns stayed strong. Goldie also used apps to buy fractional shares of her favorite companies. This allowed her to invest as little as $5 or $10 at a time. After a few months of regular investing, Goldie was amazed to see her net worth increasing exponentially. She watched motivational videos on compound growth to stay encouraged. On days Goldie felt tempted to spend rather than save, she would log into her investment accounts. Seeing her wealth grow reminded her to stay disciplined. Within 2 years, Goldie had over $100,000K invested. She was earning thousands in market returns each year. Her money was snowballing thanks to compounding. Goldie is proof that with consistent investing, anyone can grow serious wealth. She took advantage of market returns to accelerate her path to financial independence. As we shift to learn more about Goldie's fifth nugget, we suggest you consider relocating to a lower cost of living area. This can dramatically reduce housing costs and other expenses. When we first met Goldie, she was living in an expensive Chelsea apartment in Manhattan that ate up half her paycheck each month. But determined to retire ASAP, Goldie got serious about cutting expenses. She researched low-cost places to live both in the US and abroad. Goldie decided on a small town in Portugal where her money could go much further. Though it meant leaving friends and family, Goldie was committed to her early retirement goal. So she sublet her apartment, sold most possessions, and made the big move to Portugal. By relocating, Goldie was able to slash her housing costs by 75%. She rented a room in a shared apartment for a fraction of her prior rent. Goldie also saved on transportation, utilities, and food in her new cheaper area. All those extra savings went straight into her investment accounts. And with Portugal's lower cost of living, Goldie realized she was that much closer to reaching her retirement number. She could retire years earlier than expected. The move wasn't easy. Goldie dealt with culture shock and homesickness. But whenever she had doubts, she looked at her savings rate and net worth. Relocating accelerated her progress exponentially. So if you're willing to take the leap, moving abroad could turbocharge your path to financial independence. Just make sure to research thoroughly first. And as Goldie moved abroad, she took the sixth step toward retiring in the next 7 years. She built multiple streams of passive income, like dividend stocks, rental properties, and online businesses. She was laser-focused on cutting costs and boosting her savings rate. But she knew that in early retirement, she'd need income to cover living expenses. Goldie researched different passive income ideas that could make money with minimal ongoing work. She got excited realizing she could earn extra cash doing things she enjoyed. First, Goldie started a YouTube channel, sharing her best money tips and travel adventures. Though it took time to grow an audience, within a year she was making $500 a month from ads. Next, Goldie turned her cake baking skills into an online business. She perfected a few signature cake recipes, took professional photos, and listed them on her own website for sale. Orders trickled in at first, but once Goldie invested in digital ads, her site traffic and sales spiked. Soon she was making $2,000 a month thanks to her cake business. Goldie also tried her hand at affiliate marketing. She designed helpful content around personal finance products she loved and added affiliate links to them. Goldie was surprised how the commissions added up. In addition, Goldie purchased a rental property that came with tenants already living there. Though maintaining the property took some work, the rental income flowed in with minimal effort on Goldie's part. Within a couple of years, Goldie had built up over $4,000 a month in passive income without needing to actively work for it. This gave her confidence that she could cover costs in early retirement. So take inspiration from Goldie and explore different passive income models. Multiple income streams can provide you the safety and flexibility you desire. So let's keep focused and discuss Goldie's 7th piece of advice. Make sure to do the math to calculate how many years it will take to save 25 to 30 times your annual expenses. Adjust spending and investing to try to retire in less than 10 years. At first, Goldie wasn't sure if she was on track to retire within 7 years, so she sat down to calculate her magic retirement number. First, Goldie tracked her living expenses for 3 months. She added up costs for housing, food, transportation, and other basics. The total came to $36,000 a year. Goldie multiplied this by 25 to estimate how much she would need saved up to sustain her lifestyle. The result? $900,000. This was her ultimate early retirement goal. Goldie compared this to her current savings and investments. She still had $650,000 to go to reach her $900,000 target. Based on her 75% savings rate, she calculated it would take another 5 years to accumulate enough wealth to retire by 35 years old. Goldie was thrilled. By diligently tracking expenses and running the numbers, she now had clarity on when she could realistically retire. In the final 2 years of her journey, Goldie gave it her all. She found little ways to trim more costs and invest every spare penny. On her 35th birthday, Goldie took a deep breath and put in her 2 weeks' notice at work. It was time to pursue early retirement, thanks to the financial foundation she had built. So take inspiration from Goldie and calculate your own retirement number. This gives you a clear target to work towards. Whether it takes you 5 years or 15 to get there, stay focused and intentional each day. Small progress compounds into huge results over time. And with the 8th and final piece of advice, be prepared to make sacrifices and live frugally in the short term to achieve financial independence and the option to retire early. It takes focus and discipline. 7 years ago, Goldie was stuck living paycheck to paycheck without a plan, but through hard work and discipline, she achieved financial freedom in her 30s. Goldie showed us that with extreme saving, smart investing, and creating passive income, early retirement is possible. But it takes effort and willingness to make sacrifices. She exemplified determination, never losing sight of her end goal, even when tempted to spend instead of save. Goldie found little ways each day to cut costs, boost income, and grow her net worth. So be inspired by Goldie's story. Take that first step today. Start tracking your spending, set up a retirement account, monetize a hobby. Small steps compound into huge results over time. You have the power to take control of your financial future. Goldie believes in you, and if you focus on replicating Goldie's journey, you too can set yourself on the path to retire in the next 7 years. As Goldie's remarkable journey continues toward financial freedom, don't miss out on your chance to start your own path to financial freedom and early retirement. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join our community of like-minded individuals on the road to a life filled with more time, cherished relationships, and newfound passions. The next video goes deep into the 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can, providing you a guide on your journey to a brighter, more gratifying future that you deserve.